There. Morning, everyone.
And welcome to the Dauphin County Board of Commissioners Legislative Meeting for Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. I would ask that you rise for a moment of silence, followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business this morning is public participation on agenda items only. Is there anybody that wishes to speak on any agenda items today? Seeing none, come forward, please.
Yes.
Good morning, Pastor Harris.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
There's two items, basically. One is in terms of the Board of Elections and in terms of the, when there's the cure period and how the cure is handled. It's very important. Was I believe.
Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we need to ensure the microphone's correct. And if this is an election matter, it may not be an appropriate time because that is not an agenda item. I don't want to be disrespectful.
I thought that was on this.
I don't see anything related to the agenda on curing, at least in my review, and I'm pretty thorough, so I did not see anything.
Let me move to the second item.
Go ahead. Thank you.
The second item is this, is that I recognize that there's a reorganization which is on the table at this time. And as a longtime resident of the county, and also a person who has worked both with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and as a registered Democrat, I'm a little bit uncomfortable and a little bit disturbed to see an election process which was put in place and which they made a decision to elect the Democratic majority, flip. So that what has happened is that that election has been rendered null and void. And in addition, what we end up with is the two most experienced people, both George Hardwick and Mike Priest, are in lesser roles. And we got a lesser experienced person. One person's been on the county commission for 1 year, taking responsibility in the middle of a tax hike. So many things going on with the county. I'm just concerned as a citizen in terms of whether or not this is in the best interest in terms of for the county. And Mike, you should be chair if it's going to be a flip. You have experience. Justin Douglas doesn't. He'll get experience, but at our expense. I think this is an important time in our history. And the Democratic Party went from a victory to a loss. Clearly, from a victory to a loss. I'm not sure this is in the best interest of the county, for us as citizens. I'm not sure it's the best interest for the Democratic Party. I'm just not sure, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Harris. Is there any more comments on agenda items today? Hearing none, I would entertain the first item of business today, which is the election of officers for Board of Commissioners. I would entertain a motion.
At this time, I'll make a motion for Chairman of the Board, Justin Douglas, Vice Chairman Mike Priest, Secretary George P. Hartwick III.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I'll take the liberty. So as you know, I've said this year very little about my colleagues' approach to county governments over this past year. The truth is, the only thing you can control are your own actions. I have endeavored to always take the high road and to be a workhorse, not a show horse. For me, a new title will not change my dedication to our county. I believe leadership is never about casting blame or launching baseless attacks. And the truth about what happened here today will come to light. I think the people we serve are pretty smart. I also believe the secret to success lies in building bridges, not burning them to the ground. It is far easier to burn down than to build up. I will never personally tear down anything to build myself up. I will never pursue the path of destruction nor perpetuate the politics of hate. It's truly fitting that today is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and also coming up on the anniversary of my father's death. As you walk into my office, you will see his portrait on the entrance of my wall with his famous quote, "Hate will not drive out hate, only love will do that. Darkness will not drive out darkness, only light will do that." Words I model and which are so needed to turn around a world today that is truly out of order. What I will do is continue to solve problems, drive results, and champion the interest of the 286,000 citizens I have been so profoundly honored to serve. I also believe a person's true colors will always show in time, and people who preach transparency should practice it. My faith in God and the love of my family will carry me through the term to come. I will not let the achievements of the past 21 years unravel or see our county fail. I care way too much about our hardworking residents, our employees, and our neighbors in need. I was and will always be dedicated to protecting the residents of Dauphin County who honored me in 2023 as the top voter getter in this county. I will not let a power grab ever cripple county government. Finally, I want to thank hundreds of people who have reached out to me personally this past week. I'm deeply touched by your support, and I thank them for staying true to their ideals. I assure you I will stay true to mine. I will do the same, and I will continue to work for all of you. Today, I actually have a sense of peace and joy, and I'm blessed to have the love of my family and the strength of my faith. And I want to thank my pastor, Pastor Glenn Pfeiffer, for being here today. You have truly grounded me on a rock that can't be shaken. I have the broadest experience that lights the way for what needs to be done. I understand the big picture and the minute details and will always do what's right all of the time. The competence, work ethic, passion, and inspiration define my servant leadership, not politics, which I think we're all about fed up with. I frequently am asked why I do not defend myself against the personal and baseless attacks made against me week after week by the same handful of people, including my colleagues. Here's my answer. When you acknowledge individuals or acts that are ill-intended, you only give them life. And there is no human, including my colleagues, that have power over me. I don't answer to them. I answer to God first and the 286,000 residents whom I have the honor to serve. No action of another will change who I am or the principles or rock on which I stand. What others intend for your harm, God will always turn for your good. I'm joyful today because God's chosen to put a light in me to serve his people. I always have, and I always will handle this with faith, self-control, and class by putting the interests of the residents, employees, judges, business owners, nonprofit providers, clergy, and this entire county, who I've had the incredible privilege to serve, ahead of my own. Leadership is never about you. It's about how you can be an example and model the inspiration to those you serve for the goal of achieving and outperforming even our own expectations of ourselves. I'm not sad or hurt today, but filled with gratitude and inspiration for the opportunity and privilege to lead. And folks, that's exactly what you can expect from me. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to call for a vote. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. The ayes have it. Change the order of seats. That's the process.
Time of the meeting, we'll move to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion for the approval of December 18th, 2024 workshop legislative minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Approval of minutes, December 18th, 2024 salary board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Controller Bateman, seconded by Commissioner Priest. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Executive sessions held between meetings, Mr. Pease.
Good morning, Commissioners. As you know, there were 2 executive sessions held between meetings. On January 13th, the Commissioners held an executive session to obtain the advice of legal counsel regarding RFP processes. On January 14th, the Commissioners held an executive session to obtain the advice of legal counsel regarding consideration on the purchase of real property, RFP processes, matters of public safety, pending litigation, fleet management, grant programs, and matters of personnel. In addition to the Solicitor's Office, Adam Santucci and Jessica Kammerer from McNeese, Wallace, and Nurek were present to discuss pending litigation and grant programs. Sharon Youngfer, Risk Manager, and Donna Miller, County Contractor for Risk Management, were present to discuss fleet management and public safety.
Thank you. We will now move on to directors and guests, salary board, Tanisha Whedon.
Good morning.
Good
Tanisha.
morning.
To request the vote on salary board items A and B.
Any questions?
No, I'll make the motion on salary board items A and B.
I'll second that.
We'll give the second to Controller Bateman. Any discussion?
Yes, the creating the 2 full-time detective positions, that was part of the budget for 2025, so it is paid for.
And one other question, the abolishment of the full-time office manager, was that a replacement? Did we create a position in the budget cycle or it's just a complete?
Abolish.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing no more, any more discussion? Hearing none, call a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Motion carries.
For the personnel packet, there were some revisions. I sent out the update. So the items 48 through 51 were the prison transactions, which we approved last week. And then number 82, that's going to be removed. The employee is starting on 121. So I'm requesting approval for items 1 through 47 and 52 through 98.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now Budget and Finance Director, Chris Davis. Oh, Sharon Youngford. See you, Sharon. Thank you.
Morning. Good morning, Sharon.
Good
I
morning.
had some questions with Chris. I guess that we'll have to wait till next week.
There's no changes to the investment report and there's no changes to the PO packet, so it's ready for your approval.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion for the purchase order packet?
Could I just, well,
Yeah, go
there
ahead.
needs to be a motion that's made. I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Just a quick discussion with budgetary related matters, since this is the budget director's section of the presentation. I'd like to have a legal look of whether or not, when their board is reconstituted under a new structure, whether or not we have the opportunity to reopen the budget to look at it. Because I know I've seen several articles related to tax increases, whether people support or don't support the budget, whether there were budget cuts that were included or whether there were budget cuts that were not included. I was hoping to ask Mr. Davis whether or not, because I directed him to ensure that none of those budget cuts, all of the requests from the commissioners be included in those budget cuts. So if there were some that were not included, I think the board serves and has the prerogative to reopen the budget and have a continuing discussion about cuts that may be proposed. And I would simply like to know the legal opinion on the reconstitution of this board and whether or not that is an opportunity for us to address and reopen our county budget. Thank you. That's it.
With that, we have a motion and a second. Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Chief Clerk's report. Mr. Pease.
Commissioners, I have nothing to report at this time unless there are questions of me.
Go ahead.
Yes, can you give us an update on where we're at on the RFP process for engineering?
So for engineering, the idea would be, and we obviously need to discuss this in executive session. We have some projects that are already identified that we would put out to RFP and not rely on the retainer agreement we have. Then the broader idea would be to, whether the board, of course, the board needs to approve this. This is just the way I was thinking might make the most sense, is to look at the different areas in which we have engineering and RFP those specific areas so they can be more, so we can narrow down the RFPs and have more people participate or more firms participate.
So there's still no official plan or timeline set up for that. How about the RFP for healthcare? Where are we at with that?
So the RFP for healthcare, the board needs to determine whether they're going to use our current firm that we've used in the past to administer that RFP, or if it's going to be done by county staff. But the normal timeline for that would be the early spring to put that out to RFP.
Did I answer some of this question? Okay. From a healthcare perspective, there's a whole host of things that we have to consider, including, where we're at with stopgap insurance, because the actual CHIP, the program that we're in, affords us the opportunity not to actually have challenges with individuals who are above $110,000 in exposure to the county. And the reason why we're in this consortium is to protect us from those shock claims. We also have some level of stability related to both the reinsurance rates, because the risk is spread out among a number of other counties. So it's not as simple as changing just providers. It's actually much more complicated about the protections. And we are in a fully self-funded plan that is not, we took it from a retro refund to a self-insured to a fully self-funded plan. So now everything we pay for healthcare is actually coming out of taxpayer dollars. So in order for us to have those kind of protections and assurances and to spread the risk out, it's not just about a provider, it's about a overall strategy to ensure that we don't have more liability in a self-funded arrangement. So those discussions I think we should continue to have, but it's not as simple as getting rid of a provider.
And again, I'll just follow up saying that, just asking what the RFP process is for healthcare. I've been asking that since last September, and I have nothing to date on where we're at with that. And then I was just reached out to relative to several insurance carriers or companies involved within the insurance industry that are asking to be part of the process for all insurance matters moving forward. And I'm requesting we put a plan of action in for that as well, so that everybody has a fair chance to compete. This full board last year and now, I still believe, is fully committed to RFPing these items, and we need to follow through on our words.
I have a meeting with the risk management department on Friday to begin that process.
Thank you.
And there are many areas of insurance we continue to receive huge increases for without having any check or balance or exposure related to, the competitive market we've received from vendors in this county who have been here for a long time, continual increases without any justification, but yet no changeover in that. So I'd like to make sure that disability and life is a priority for the RFPs.
Mr. Pease, I do have a question. We have a number of board appointments coming up, and we now have an online way in which individuals can apply to be appointed to a Dauphin County board. Am I correct? Can you maybe walk through that process, deadlines, where people can find out more information if they're listening and would like to participate on one of our boards?
Sure, I can explain that. So on the county website, I had it added to the front page at the request of many of those trying to find it, but there's two ways to get there. If you go to dauphincounty.gov, you can either scroll down to the news section or you can use the search bar and search board appointments. That'll take you to a page that lists all open boards that the board is looking to appoint at the beginning of this year. The current deadline to get to send your applications into me would be January 31st if you're interested in any of those boards. When you get to that page, there is an application form that is fillable that you can fill out and download that you will just need to sign before sending it to me via email, which is listed on the website, or you can, at the top of that form, you can mail it into our office.
Thank you, Mr. Pease. Any other questions for Mr. Pease?
I think that's a great idea. I know we've had some discussion. We all support that to try to ensure that we've got new blood and competent people and not politicians that are serving on these boards. I think it will be a welcome change for Dauphin County.
Certainly. Solicitor Owens.
Thank you, Commissioner Douglas. All matters requiring board action, 1 through 44, have been reviewed and approved by the Solicitor's Office.
Thank you. All right, we have items 1 through 44. Any matters that we need to pull out and vote on separately?
I have none.
I don't have any to vote on separately, but I do have a question for the background on one of the items. So
Go ahead.
I'll make a,
Well, yeah, let's start with the motion. Do we have a motion for items 1 through 44?
so moved.
I'll second.
Discussion, Commissioner Reese.
A description on item 4, agreement between Dauphin County Tax Assessment and Mid-Atlantic Valuation Group for assessment appeals services. Is that a 1-year agreement, a multi-year agreement? I don't have any information on that.
It is a 1-year agreement. That is with Gary Highland. This is his 3rd year that he'll be working with the assessment appeals.
Can I
Board.
provide some clarity?
You, of course.
On this, we actually have a significant amount of commercial appeals based upon what has happened since COVID with the devaluation of commercial real estate. And we have hired an expert to ensure that they present the county's position in case on our ability to ensure that we maintain a higher value on those properties. Because as they get reassessed, their values drop. It's pushing the tax burden to property tax owners. So in order for us to be able to work to challenge against that, we have got to ensure that we've got expertise that are working on behalf of our Board of Assessment Appeal, and Gary is the recognized expert and has done a valuable and commendable job for Dauphin County in the past 2 years.
Thank you for that explanation. Is there a cost for that?
It is $40,000. It's actually down $5,000 from last year's contract.
Thank you.
What's the length or term of the contract?
So
1 year.
Anyone else? Comments or questions, discussion? I do want to make one note. Item number 22, agreement between Dauphin County, MHADP, and the Bhutanese community in Harrisburg for suicide prevention. I know this is an issue within the Bhutanese community that I believe all 3 of us have been made aware of, and I'm thankful to see funds and resources going that direction. In the number here of over $88,000 in a Department of Health grant, certainly suicide prevention and targeted prevention into how we will communicate to that community, I think is necessary, and I'm thankful to see it on today's agenda.
And we got T-Lock in the back of the room too.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
If I hear no other discussion, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Former business. We have a former business item here, Susquehanna Union Green. I know we had some discussion on it last time. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Did we all get the clarity we needed on this item, I guess, then?
I had when I asked last week. Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Any new business? Commissioners' discussion and actions. Commissioner Harwood.
I have nothing.
Commissioner Priest.
Nothing to add.
I just want to share that I'm grateful and thankful to be entrusted in this role of chairman. And I'm thankful for all the work that I've seen of our county employees over the last year. And I look forward to charting a path together. We have correspondence next. Mr. Pease, I assume any correspondence we receive, you will ensure that it gets passed off to the right people. Great. At this time, we have public participation. This is for clarity for everyone. We are live streaming, and we do ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes, as Mr. Pease will be holding the timer, and that you provide your name and address. Anyone for public comment? Just live.
You look better in person than you do on Facebook.
Mark, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. On behalf of the Bhutanese community in Harrisburg, close to around 47,000 now. Extend my, gratitude to commissioners for approving these critical mental health related grants. This is not just a grant for us. This is a beacon of hope for the, community like us, because in January to March 2024, we witnessed 6 individuals from our community who ended their life. And, we've been working very closely with the Dauphin County Mental Health, administration and with the state. So far, we got a really great response. And, last 90 days, we have not seen any suicidal within the community, which is a good thing. But with this funding, we are trying to make sure that we reach out to the community to, more outreach and educational, activities in the community. And this is going to be, really great thing for the community. And we look forward to continue to work with the county in the days to come. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Like that partnership has been incredible, including expanding your role in our overall county suicide prevention process. Our Bhutanese community is one of the largest growing communities in Dauphin County, and you are welcome if you are a resident, and we will be serving needs.
Thanks.
Certainly. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Morning.
How you guys doing? Yeah. Trying to find the words, but I know I have to say something.
Could you please state
First,
your
I
name?
wanna thank you
Could you
guys.
please state your name for the record?
Okay, pardon. My name is Dr. Kevin Dauphin. I'm the founder and president of Breaking the Chains Community Outreach Program. Over the years, we've helped hundreds of thousands of people. That number sounds crazy, but it's with the help of Commissioner Hartwick at the helm. I just wanted to come and say thank you for that. It's a day of changing. I guess we're changing the guards. I want to welcome you. I haven't met you. You've been in this position for how long?
A year I've been a commissioner.
And I haven't met you. Yeah, I haven't. You've been out to the community one time. This is what I'll say about Commissioner Hartwick, the community engagement. And I spent over 27 years of my life in prison. And if it wasn't for this gentleman right here, when I came home, to giving me a chance, no telling where I would have ended up at. So I just wanted to come and say thank you. I know you're going nowhere because you're still here, but I just wanted to come and say welcome. Hopefully we can get some community engagement out of you, both of you guys. We get more, because I know behind the scenes, not that people see, that Commissioner Hartwick does and have done, and I know he will continue to do. I'm gonna keep it short. I know my time's running out, but I just want to thank you for all of the things that you've done for not just breaking the chains. I'm not here about breaking the chains, for the community of Harrisburg, and beyond that, because I know you do work I know, and I want to thank you, man. And regardless of what role you play, I know you're gonna play it well, and joining together. And I know he'll work with you guys, whatever position he played. But like I said, I hope we get more community engagement. And I'm here at the table with the olive branch reaching out. And I want to say thank you for everything that you've done.
Don't hesitate to reach out to my office and ask for a meeting. I'd love to meet. Yeah.
And it's been an honor to serve. I mean, the gift is in giving and it's a blessing.
Those words can't surmount it, man.
Appreciate you. Yep, appreciate you.
Anyone else for public comment?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Lewis
Morning,
Butts
Lewis.
from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Crime is a real big issue right now. And we need a product. We want our children, we want the next generation to be morally, ethically, and have a high moral code. Right now, I'm presenting an idea that we need a Harrisburg Police Academy, a fire academy, and maybe a River Watch Academy. The last person that fell in the river, we didn't get them until they were in Maryland. We have to do better. We have to make sure that we're teaching our children better. They have to make resolutions and have problem-solving techniques without having the police be there. They have to be smarter. And I think a police academy in our, like McDevitt could be an academy for officers, for fire, and for our River Watch. This is the next stage. This is the next phase. We lost a lot of churches with the Act 47. We lost like 10 churches in one, and that messes up our system. That's congregations, that's people there to worship. We don't have that anymore. We have to reform how we teach and what the product we want from our children. I'm coming to you, and I'll come again. We need some kind of academy for our children so they can make better decisions in the streets and amongst their peers. I welcome you. Thank you. I appreciate the commissioners, and I'm looking forward to be moving forward.
If I can just 1 second. One of the things that we would like to get a lot more done this past year, but one of the things I'm really most proud of is the ability to invest in 2 new full-time CID officers. There's a plan by our Chief Investigation Division to couple with federal agencies, the city of Harrisburg. Every community deserves to be safe. And quite frankly, to take leadership and to step up and be able to add additional officers to a 10-member, which we believe will be a violent crime task force from the enforcement side, is an incredible step in the right direction. But I completely agree with you. It's not just about enforcement. We've got to make sure people are safe. And we right now, the depletion of officers in the city of Harrisburg is in a difficult position because of the lack of officers they have and the challenges that exist. We need to be able to provide that support. And it's going to be a violent crime task force that looks at all of Dauphin County residents, coupled with looking at the car stealing, which is directly associated with drugs and crime. But that enforcement piece is important, but we do also need to build up a social service network and alternative for these kids. So I'm always open to hearing and understanding the best way to do that. And I know you always come up with quirky ideas, Lewis, and off the wall, but sometimes, those are the kind of thinking that's needed in order for us to be able to continue to look at this thing a little bit differently and actually make a difference. So appreciate you.
I do appreciate you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Anyone else for public comment?
Councilman.
Mr. Commissioner, good morning.
Morning.
Chair, Vice Chair, Mr. Hartwick, Commissioner Hartwick. I'd just like to briefly speak on honor and valor and friendship. I know as colleagues of you gentlemen that when you unlift the veil of any governmental institution, you'll see an organized, orchestrated mess. And that's our jobs to uphold that and try our best for the residents. But I'm speaking about almost 12 years ago when I was just a hip hop artist, just trying to figure it out as a single dad. And I was on the Capitol steps shooting a video, and no one would give me the time of day. Not one person that came off those buses that wanted to use our city as a photo op, get back on their bus and go to another state. And the video we were shooting, it was directed towards poverty and why our city was hurting so much. And at the time, I couldn't figure out, because our message was so positive, why no one that was elected wanted to even give us a moment. Well, At the time, a gentleman with a full head of hair stopped by and say, "What you guys up to?" I'm George Hartwick, County Commissioner. And I explained to him briefly, and he said, "You know what? I'll give you guys a second." And he did. And he actually was featured in like one of our first music videos, interview. And it was a touching piece on how we can do better for the people. And since then, I had nothing to do with politics because at the time I was still in high school. I had no idea watching you guys, Priest, and a lot of people that were elected beforehand. I had no idea really what politics were or what went into it. But I do know at that time and many times after that, you know, Mr. Hartwick, Commissioner Hartwick, George was there through the ups, downs. And all I can say now as an elected official, as a business owner here in the county, someone that really has metrics that changes the lives of our youth on a daily basis. I respect what you gentlemen do. And all the way from Miss Randy to Miss Ruby and all the way through the county, we had my students in this whole building and at every floor from the judges on through. And I mean, it was beautiful. And to keep that educational aspect of it, to keep our relationship going is why I'm here to speak about. Because regardless of who changes the seats, the job must get done. Amen. The work must still entail. So I understand, and believe me, I know from the city standpoint what's behind those curtains. I could only imagine what's behind the curtains on the county level, state level, federal level, and so on. But I'm here to help. All You Can Incorporated is here to help. And I would like to just continue our work with the Leadership Academy, with our food pantry, where we serve. I mean, our metrics, we have one of the largest Christmas events in the county. We just served 2,800 children and gave away 11,000 presents December 21st at the farm show. So I want to keep this tradition with all three of you guys as county commissioners. And I just want to see how we can grow and serve the residents here in Dauphin County even better, even higher, to a higher magnitude. So I respect the work of what all three of you gentlemen do. I know probably better than a lot how hard it is to stand at this podium every day and give it your all. So I respect you, I love you, and I just want to continue the work going. Thank you, Dr.
Councilman. Anyone else for public comment? Morning.
Gina Vasquez, 32461 Walnut Street. I just want to, first of all, say congratulations to Douglas and Commissioner Douglas. I'm here to speak about the outreach that is ghost, basically, for the Hispanic community, for the Latino community. If you look around this here, how many people look like me? How many people come up here and talk about this community? How many employees do you have in the prison that actually go and outreach and give resources to that underserved community? In the Dauphin County here, I don't see one employee that's bilingual in upper management here. So that's something that needs to change because we are a big community and we deserve the resources that everyone else is getting and in that language. That's something that we must address, and I've said it multiple times, and I would like to meet with you guys to see what we can do about that and take it from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Mr. McShane.
Morning.
Morning. My name is Justin McShane, Lower Paxton, former solicitor, serving under you get three folks. Sometimes it's hard to tell people that you respect the truth. And I'm here to tell you that it shouldn't be 1 versus 1 versus 1 or 2 on 1. It should be 285,000 working together as much as we can.
Agreed.
And I think that this is a hard reset. And I know each and every one of you have worked for you good folks. And I know that you will meet this challenge together and go forward together, because that's what this community needs, is we need a united, good, strong leadership. And please, let's not devolve to be like the rest of America government.
It's becoming.
1, 1, 1. You have individual votes, absolutely. But let's try and make it back and be unlike everyone else and get together again for the sake of all 285,000 of us, plus all of our neighbors, and the 20 million in our state, and the 350 million, and the 8 billion nearly in the world. And we can do that together. And I challenge you good folks, as my friends, to let's start doing that together, because I know you can. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Morning,
Well,
Commissioners. You're going to need to give me a minute because I've been
It's fine.
standing.
Not a problem. Take your time.
Pam Parson, Holly Street in the city of Harrisburg. Commissioner Hartwick, I really appreciated that you started out today with the reminder that today is MLK's birthday and with a quote. And so I would like to start with a quote as well. Power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love, implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. Martin Luther King talked a lot about the beloved community, and part of the beloved community is accountability. In life, like sports, no one likes to be checked. No one likes to hear, hold up, step back, sit down. It's painful. It leaves us feeling battered and bruised and broken. And in sports, we go on the defensive, but in life, getting defensive, asking, saying, what did I do? Remember when I did this. Remember when I did that. What about this? That's not really helpful. And the two commissioners to my right, your left, have called you in several times in this past year and have said, hold up, wait a minute, we weren't part of the process. And you had opportunity to change, and that didn't happen. So then they did this very public call out. And yes, I understand that it feels horrible because I've been there too. And please, this is my public comment. And to Commissioners Douglas and Prees, I know it takes courage to call people out. It's not an easy thing to call people into account, whether they are our colleagues in government or our friends or our families. It's a hard thing to do. But what we need to do when we're called out is to take a breath, to step back and to look at the good of the community. And there is always a pathway back, but sometimes that pathway takes a lot of work. So I'd also like to end with another quote from Martin Luther King Jr., which is, the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parson. Anyone else for public comment? Seeing none, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So move.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.